How am I meant to work like this? Hi pals, it's Mick. Welcome back to my YouTube. Today I'm going to start a series which is based on a huge series that I highly recommend you go and watch after you watch this. Or you can pause this and come back, that's okay. Kasey Golden has done a drawing prompt series, and it is the type of series that I have binge watched over and over and over again. It's the sort of series that I would put on to go to bed because she's entertaining, but she's not like over the top, and it's soothing, and I love art. It's really nice to watch. So I thought that I would like to take on something similar. And I might as well make this a bloody birthday series at this point as well. This is a book that I got from my friend Ellie, who you might remember from this video, and she got me this book for my birthday, and it is really, really cool. I'm really excited about it. I just wanted to go over a couple of rules that I'm setting for myself. Because this is based on the series by Kasey Golden, I wanted to stick to her rules because that seemed like what you should do. It's almost challenge based. So anyway, the rules are no skipping because, you know, challenge, you're not meant to be able to skip them, and I want to try and push myself to not just use the prompts in a normal, obvious way. Like, if I was to see a tree, I don't want to just draw a tree. I want to draw something that's more like inspired by the prompt. So I don't want to skip, and I want to push my creativity, so no skipping. No looking ahead is the second rule, and you can see this here. I have put in a bunch of sticky notes ahead of time, my little owls, because I want to make sure that I'm giving like a genuine reaction and I can come up with something on the spot. And I put these sticky notes in a couple of days ago now, so hopefully I don't remember anything, and I'll move them across to the later pages because I only had 150 and there's obviously 642 prompts. So I'll move the sticky notes in advance so that hopefully I forget the prompts, and then, you know, I don't have anything on my mind at the time, and you'll just have to trust me on that one. The third rule is no fan art. This is one that's just purely inspired by Kasey Golden. I don't typically use fan art as anything to help with my creativity, but I feel like I understand how it could be used as a crutch, and I don't want to fall into that habit. So no fan art. And the last rule is one full page at a time, which means not just one prompt at a time, because sometimes there are multiple prompts on one page and sometimes there's only one prompt on one page, but basically it just means that I'll be using all of the prompts and having to combine them and come up with an illustration that involves all of them because they're all on one page. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, that's it, and I guess we'll just jump into it. Okay, double whammy for our first one. Let's have a look. We've got a rolling pin and a hammock. I am remarkably uninspired by these two things, although I think I have an idea. Okay, so while you watch my horrifically bad sketches, I just wanted to preface this video with the warning, I guess, that I have a lot to say in this video. I have a couple of announcements. So first of all, I would like to mention the music that you will have already heard during this video. The music is by a person that Ellie connected me with. His name is Deji, and he's a really fantastic music producer. He's a really cool guy. He was great to work with, and he came up with this fantastic track. He asked me to write some notes for him. I'm not really good at explaining things, so it was really impressive to me that when I was like, I'm going for like a particular feeling and I like these artists and I don't know how to explain what I want. And he came back with a track, and when I gave him feedback, he actioned all of it and he came back with this amazing bit of music that was exactly what I wanted after me not even being able to explain myself. Like, it was just incredible. He's great. And I have left all of his links in the description down below if you want to check out his music and or his social medias. So the second announcement that I wanted to make for this video is that I'm going to be doing this as a series, and I'm hoping to schedule this for the first Saturday of every month. And then I would also like to make a schedule for the bullet journaling videos that I do, because I've found that basically it just sounds like you guys want to see that, and I do bullet journaling anyway, so I might as well film it and put it on my channel. And my intention for that is to put up a bullet journal video every month on the last Saturday of the month so that it's ready for the following month, so that you can follow along if you want to, and your bullet journal will be ready before the start of the next month. With that said, my video for the end of this month, I plan to be a full 2021 setup. So if you're interested in a minimalist 2021 setup, please check back with me. I have some ideas and I'm really excited to try and make them work for my bullet journal. I won't be starting a new bullet journal because I haven't finished my current one and I love it. It's an Archer and Olive and it's just beautiful and I don't want it to go to waste. So there's that. Now, the next announcement is one that I probably should have said first because that's probably the most interesting one. And if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, you can find it in the links in the description box down below. You probably see that on my last Instagram post, I mentioned that I'm going to do a giveaway in this video. Now, it's not huge, like I'm not giving away an iPad or $1,000 or anything like that because I'm not rich. I don't, this is my only job and I don't get paid by it yet. So basically, I am doing a giveaway for a print of my work. I need a guinea pig. I have never made a print before on my own that hasn't been through a website or something like that. So you can buy my prints already on Redbubble, which I probably should include in this announcement, but I opened a Redbubble shop. You can find the link below. That's the only way that I've ever created prints before. I've never done them myself. So what I want to do is to try and use my local Officeworks to print my work. So that's what the giveaway is going to be. The rules to enter are that you can be any kind of citizen. I don't care where you are in the world, that's fine. You have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and you must be following me on Instagram and Twitter. All of those links are in the description down below. And the final rule is I changed my nail polish in this video. If you could comment down below the timestamp when my nails changed. And if you get that right and you're following me on all of my social medias, I will add you into a random name generator. I'll film that process so that you don't have to just trust me, you can see that I'm actually doing that. You can enter the giveaway up until the 1st of January, and then I'll be announcing the winner in my video on the 2nd of January, and that will be the next prompt series video. So I feel like this has come sort of full circle, and that's, yeah, I thought that was a good way to do it. Thank you so much. I will shut up and start talking about other stuff now. I ramble all the way through the video. Have fun with that. Yeah, it's a thing. Oh, and remember to go and check Deji out. He's really cool. So I just wanted to mention that I know in the introduction I said something along the lines of I don't want to just draw the thing. I want to draw the inspiration of the prompt. So I sort of just started out drawing the actual prompt words because I was so uninspired, and also because that's something that Kasey Golden does in her series as well, and I'm taking inspiration from that. But it did give me this really cool idea. So as you can see, I did not film the sketching process. Instead, I showed you how great I am at editing by clicking it in there. But anyway, as you can see, I have a kind of a scene here, which is pretty uncommon for me. I don't really do backgrounds and I'm really kind of crap at perspective. The only other time I can think of that I've ever even taken on perspective, even given it a crack, was during Mermay of 2018, I believe. And that was when I started my art Instagram. So you can go and find that one if you want. But basically, I haven't done perspective, I don't do backgrounds, and honestly, I'm not super happy with how this turned out, but that's the reason that I didn't do the sketch on camera, because I kind of cheated a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. I used my iPad, I used Procreate, and I used a perspective drawing guide. In fairness, I don't really feel like it was that much of a cheat because I don't really know how to use a perspective drawing guide anyway, but that is what I did, and I figured that filming that entire process and putting that in here would have made this video even longer than it already is. And I was hoping to keep these videos down to relatively short, and I was hoping that they would be relatively easy to film and edit, but as you probably have noticed, or maybe you haven't, I don't know, maybe you don't watch my channel regularly, that's fine, I'm not trying to shame you, but I didn't put out a video last week because I was struggling with this. There was a lot that I felt like I had to get through, probably because of how complex I made the actual illustration, and then because I also have the extra angle. You know, I mean, I'm completely self-taught and I've only just started trying to edit this year. I've only ever used the one program, and you know, I didn't really know how I would compound the clips, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't really sure how to edit it, and I had to learn that along the way, and for some reason my program was just messing around with me this time, and also because the actual painting process took way longer than I thought it would. I think I sat down 3 different days and painted for an hour or 2 each time, and a lot of that was because I just had no experience with this kind of illustration before, and I don't know why I chucked myself so far into the deep end with this. I also didn't plan out the color scheme when I made the sketch on Procreate, so I had to cut out a lot of things in editing because there's a lot of footage of me just staring at the page trying to figure out what I'm doing. And you'll notice here that I'm trying to use the same colors. Okay, birds, could you shut up? I don't know if you can hear that anyway. So I'm trying to have a really cohesive color scheme, and that was what I was focusing on, both the perspective and a cohesive color scheme. I kind of limited my color palette, but not quite, but I was focusing on trying not to use too many colors and trying to make sure that the colors didn't compete with one another and trying to make sure that the perspective stayed good, if that even makes sense. That's what I was focusing on, and I think that because I didn't plan the colors out earlier, and I've never done an illustration of this scale with this many like different variables to color in, I didn't really have an idea of how to do that or what to do, and I made a couple of choices that actually, no, you know what, I didn't make any choices with the colors that I regretted, but I did make some scary choices that I wasn't certain of. So it took me a long time to take that leap because I have issues with procrastination as well as perfectionism. So when I want something to come out a certain way, but I don't know what way I want it to come out, it just doesn't make any sense, okay? I can't explain my brain. The other thing that suffered because of my preoccupation with color cohesion and perspective is that there isn't a whole lot of contrast. I think the contrast could definitely be improved upon. Here are the stripes on her shirt, which posed problems for me later because when you go near that black paint with anything that's even slightly damp, it reactivates. So when I was going back near them with the color of her hammock and her skin, I tried to be really, really careful, but it did reactivate and I had to try and kind of pick up the color and yeah, try to fix it as I went sort of thing. And I also didn't give this chick a forehead. I don't know why, but yeah, she didn't really get a forehead and I don't really like how she came out in general, but I do really like her outfit, which is inspired by something that Drawing with Waffles drew recently. And now I am painting in the thing that gave me the most anxiety over this weird painting. I don't know why I get anxious over dumb stuff like that, but the wall, the wall, I had no idea what color I wanted to do it. I considered leaving it white, just like the paper color beneath it. I considered trying to sort of come up with a cream color, but I had already struggled to come up with a cream that I wanted to make the hammock and the inside of the rug on the right hand side of the painting. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm gonna go risky, and I painted in the walls with the same kind of pink color that you can see that the vase is and one of her books, and in the kitchen she has the same color for a kettle and a tea towel on the back of the stove. So I took a risk there, and honestly, I think I like it. I watered it down a little bit so that it was lighter, so that it wasn't as much of a risk. For some reason, it wasn't as much of a risk in my head if I watered it down. But then I do go back and I kind of messed it up a bit, I think. But I think it was necessary. I just don't know how I could have executed it better at this point. I wanted to make shadows, so I went back and darkened the one wall that I think would have been in shadow, and I don't really like the color that it came out, as well as it has a little bit of patchiness, but overall I think it's fine. I think that I did what I did, and at this point in my skill set I think that that's all I can do. Another thing that I wanted to mention is the flooring that I'm painting at the moment, and I actually really liked how this turned out. I don't know how to improve it yet, but I want to improve it because I like the idea of it. And I think another thing that impeded me in this painting, especially in this particular part of the process, is the size of it. I worked really small for this painting. It's a 5x7 piece of watercolor paper, so it was really tiny for such a big cluttered scene. Maybe it wasn't the best idea I've ever had. But there you have it. That is another one of my excuses for why this didn't turn out how I exactly wanted it to turn out. I guess this whole video is just me making up excuses. So anyway, I follow a lot of artists on Instagram and I follow a lot of traditional artists. I've seen quite a few lately posting these like cluttery scenes, and I have seen them for ages and years, but I feel like recently they've made a really big resurgence. Like, it seems to be every second Instagram photo I'm seeing is of one of these cluttered scenes. And I don't know if that's just on my Instagram or if it's just because I'm noticing them because I like them, but they feel really common to me and I found them really, really inspiring. And I don't mean common as an insult or a bad thing. I mean, like, I'm just seeing them a lot, and I wonder if that's to do with me and my preferences, or if it's because it is something that's sort of on trend, because I'm aware that there are sort of trends that sort of pass through the art world, but I don't have a lot of friends in the art scene, I guess. I don't know anybody, I'm new to the social media, and if I'm really honest, I'm not that good at making friends. Most of my friends I've known since I was a kid, because I just don't know how to make this has turned into a roast yourself video. Far out. Anyway, I don't really know the art scene that much, but I saw all these cluttered illustrations and I was inspired by them and I wanted to do them, which is all to say that I have definitely been inspired in this painting, but I couldn't tell you who by, because it's just something that I think that I'm seeing quite often, and so I wanted to sort of recreate my own version of it, and that was my inspiration from these prompts. So they don't feature hugely, like the rolling pin is just a tiny little rolling pin on the bench behind her, and obviously she's sitting in this massive chair hammock, but it isn't a traditional hammock because I found this one on Pinterest as a reference photo and I wanted to use it because I thought it looked cooler than a normal hammock, and it also looked easier to draw a character in said hammock, which I figured I just had to have because, you know, I'm a character artist, there was always going to be a character included, and yeah, I just wanted to be able to do that a little bit more freely, especially when I was challenging myself with almost every other aspect of this painting. So I guess that's my explanation. I was inspired by these particular prompts to draw this big cluttered scene because, I don't know, I just saw an opportunity and made the connection and did that. I am really pleased with how the line art came out on this one, and I don't know why it came out better than I think that it usually does. It could just be practice, could just be that I've been doing it over and over again the last few paintings. But yeah, basically what I wanted this to look like was that the character in the illustration was sort of reading up on how to bake, and she maybe lives on her own and she loves plants, and she's, you know, this, I don't know, I don't usually have a story for my characters, so I don't know her background or, you know, who she is as a person, but I do know that she owns a hammock in her living room. So I sort of thought that maybe she's like the kind of person who really enjoys leisure time and really enjoys leisure activities, and maybe baking is one of those, but she doesn't know how to do it, which is why she has all these cooking books beside her. But it's sort of, I don't know, as I drew it, it kind of looked like she'd given up on baking. So I gave her a spoon with cookie dough on it, and I feel like maybe she just gave up on cooking and decided to eat the dough instead. I really relate to that. I love cookie dough. I've so rarely actually gotten cookie dough and then made cookies. Usually I just eat the dough, which probably isn't good for you. I really liked this part of the process because I wasn't sure if it would work, and it did, and I was really happy with it. So using the Posca and my Signo white gel pen, I created all of the, I guess, tassels and laces and things that came off the hammock. And I was really pleased with how it turned out because I wasn't sure if it would be opaque enough, but it was. So yeah, that is the end of the illustration. Thank you for sitting and listening to all my rambling. Hopefully it was worth it for you. Thank you for watching as always. And please, if you liked the video, leave it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, leave it a thumbs down. I don't mind. I've heard that apparently it's engagement either way, and that's what I need. So go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and press the bell button for notifications, and put it on all instead of just personal, because I've also heard that even if you're subscribed, it doesn't matter if you don't press the bell button, because it doesn't really do anything. If you're just subscribed, you have to hit the bell button because YouTube's algorithm is crap. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that. They won't let me like succeed if I just shit talk their platform, I suppose. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new series, and hopefully I will see you again next week. Bye, pals!